This afternoon, I got an email from Brother Mark, and he was sharing with me Mary J. Blige's new video. She has a new video out called Come See About Me, featuring Fabulous. It's a really hot track. I think you guys should go check it out. But this is what he said. And guess who played her lover in the video? The young guy from BMF, the guy that Lala is seeing. And my question is, why is an old hit the wall woman trying to look like she's 25? And personally, if she didn't have that blonde weave and those fake lashes, she would look better and more natural. So I went to the video and I checked it out. And like I said, it was a very good video. And Mary J. Blige is, in the video having a love or romantic relationship with Da Vinci, who is the model in question. And, this video brings out a bigger issue that we're seeing in Black America. And I know that you're going to wonder why. So I want to go back to the conversation that me and Dr. Tieson Johnson had a few weeks ago called Successful Black Women Are Marrying Broke Black Men on Purpose. Now, I know what you guys are just going to say, that this is just a music video, but it is indicative of a bigger problem. There are many successful Black women that can represent Mary J. Blige. They've deferred their marriages when they got, their youth to go into the careers. They've made it in the private sector or public sector, professional school, the whole 9 yards. And once they got to a certain situation in life, they were then ready to settle down, only to find out that those men were already taken. But what do you see happening right now? Well, let Dr. Tieson Johnson explain it from our interview, and then I'll come back and give my honest opinion.
With husband sons, one of the things I began to notice is that you had well-to-do women who were employed, who were educated, so on and so forth, and who would use the rationale that there were no other options, and they would choose men that were intentionally in such a low position that those men could not offer much challenge. So in other words, they were in the dominant position in the relationship. These men depended on them for hearth and home, for income, for food, for everything. And if there was so much as an argument, those men would be out on the street.
Mm-hmm.
So it really came down as to be a control measure, really. But
Sure.
Whether you're talking about, especially if you're dealing with women that, decide at a certain point that they want to have children, they want to be married, so on and so forth, and they just chose somebody that they knew they could control.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the reason I've argued for this is, the average woman can't look up and say, you know what, I'm ready to get married. Let me go get O'Shea. I can get O'Shea anytime I want. Let me go get him. Is that likely? Not really. I mean, if you're talking about, and I don't want to go back into the whole Kevin Samuels high value man, but the central idea is still pretty similar. If you want the ideal that we've been hearing about from Black women since the 80s, that guy is not easy to get whenever you feel like getting. Kevin used to talk about picking a high value man off the high value tree. There is that perspective out there with a lot of women. But the problem is those men are not easy to control. You can't make them do what you want them to do when you want them to do it. So many choose men who are in a position where they can't really debate. They can't, they're vulnerable. And,
So from there, we're at the crux of the video. And what am I trying to explain here? I'm trying to explain the scenes that you're seeing between Da Vinci and Mary J. Blige represent a bigger issue happening in Black America. You have an older woman like Mary J. Blige who cannot attract a man on her level financially. So the next best thing she can do is to want to fantasize about a younger man who is less financially successful, a younger man who is at the epitome of his physical attractiveness, but at the same time, a younger man who must go by her rules. Typically, he's broke. Typically, he'll have to take abuse. And if he doesn't like it, she'll threaten to put him out. And she's going to disrespect this guy because he is going to always remind her of the fact that she could not get the man that she wanted. Well, what kind of relationships are husband sons that we're seeing here in America today? Let's look at Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson. Kim Kardashian is financially affluent. I know what you guys are going to say. She left Kanye West. That's cool. She did, right? Where are the other guys like Kanye West that want to date Kim Kardashian? If she could do it, she would, but she couldn't. So she's dealing with Pete Davidson, who's 27, and he has nowhere near the money or success she does. Well, let's look at somebody else. Look at Erykah Badu. Erykah Badu is 50 years old. Who is Erykah Badu dealing with? J-Ron Atkinson, Keisha Cole, Nico Kale. I mean, I think you guys get the point. These are men who don't have the same financial input as these ladies, and at any time they could be let go, but they're in their physical youth, and what these dudes pretty much are looked at as beta males. So this is what you see. You see an older woman trying to appear to be younger, trying to be more attractive, trying to be more sexy, trying to get a guy, like even Britney Spears and her new husband, Sam Agari. But really what that is, it is a husband-son relationship. It's a clear admittance that, hey, listen, I cannot get the guy that I want. But the way to disguise it is the second best thing, to get a guy who is attractive enough that I'll have to pay for it. Meaning that if I did not have the money, that guy would not be with me. And here's the thing I want to talk about right now. So many ladies talk about guys like that in the same vein. Like, you know, if you guys didn't have all that money, you know, that woman wouldn't be with you. And you know what? That might be right. Like, look at the billionaire Robert Smith. He's an older guy, heavyset, fat. His wife is a younger Playboy model. I think it's quite evident to see that she would not deal with him if he wasn't a billionaire. I would totally agree. But could you obviously say that Lala Anthony, although she is a good looking lady, that, you know, Da Vinci from BMF would be talking to her? Well, if she was broke, he wouldn't even deal with her. That's one of the reasons that he's dealing with her, because she has money, something that he can probably get, even though he makes his own money, but that's a good reason to do it, right? Let's look at J-Ron Atkinson and Erykah Badu. You think if he had money, he'd be dealing with a 50-year-old lady? No, that guy doesn't have anything. That woman is controlling him. And so that's why he's stuck there. Nico Kale the same way. He's not on the same level of Keisha Cole. And we've seen what happened when a guy is at the same level as Keisha Cole. They don't want her. Look at Antonio Brown. He completely destroyed her. Look at Jeezy. Don't have no time for her. You see? So ladies understand that the guys that are at the level that they want don't want them sometimes. And especially as they can get older. I'm not saying that guys don't want them, but it's definitely more competition for those guys. It's more successful older women than it is older men. And what I mean when I say that, you have a lot of men who are more successful as they get older, and women are checking for those dudes still with, you know, a lot of effort. Whereas, you know, women like Mary J. Blige, as she gets older, most guys were not going to be looking to really date her because they don't need her to date her. They're not going to do that. What's the point? Because they already have something in life. They're going to be looking for a woman a lot younger, woman that is going to be a little bit more submissive, open to the world. So it could discount a lady like Mary J. Blige. And her video is pretty much indicative of a husband-son relationship. And if you don't believe me, just listen to what Dr. Chisan Johnson said and you can kind of match it up. This is the future for a lot of successful black women in America. If they don't get married earlier, as they get older, they'll be in these sort of relationships with men that they don't respect. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains an all-time high. I'm out.